and then they
how
delivered.
real it actually looked.
Yeah. You got to ask about the wetness.
Well, wetness aside, here's the final word from Stan the Man Winston.
I don't know how they did this. If it's been done today, to look like it was done then, it would be a many, multiple thousands of dollars.
Stan, even if it wasn't made to look, period. I mean, just to do this properly would be really...
Be very expensive. And my hat's off to the people who created it, or that poor alien that's dead on that table.
Oh, yeah. Definitely that poor alien. And
That's what I'm saying. I don't know, he's giving props to these fictional puppet makers. Props to that dead alien.
Yeah, that's...
The whole time, it reminded me of Freddy. I was just thinking of Freddy on that table, and I was like, man, what the fuck, dude? He deserves better.
Oh.
You know, imagine what he would be saying with that weird tape voice.
Oh, God.
You heard him talking.
Yeah, well, maybe that's Freddy's
Freddy's
girlfriend.
a jerk. I was worried more if it was Rock or something. One of his buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rock. Oh, yeah, Rock was cooler.
This thing
than
does
Freddy.
get
Freddy,
sad later.
All right, well,
they,
since this was a female, if this was a
She
female,
might
would
be a
she go
female.
with Rock or Freddy? Because, you know, women apparently love assholes or something. She might have picked Freddy.
Rock's a total Chad, man. I mean, Freddy's the other guy. But
and this girl, she didn't want no scrubs, yeah.
No. Remember that investigator, though, from the beginning who was looking for the cameraman? What, William Deere?
Yes.
Oh,
William
yeah.
C. Deere.
Well,
William C. Deere.
William C. Deere, William Fine Deere, but he's still on the hunt to snake this rat out. And here he is. He's, again, whipping his team together.
Our search for the cameraman is continuing. Here's what we know so far.
We have a white male. We know he's 82 or 83 years old currently. We know when he entered the service. We know that he was in the service for 10 years.
With a detailed profile constructed, Bill Deere set his team of investigators in motion.
That's going to be a really important thing for us to follow up on, because 1955 and the fact they're still in existence is going to give us some credibility as far as morgue files. It gives us something to look at. So let's pay particular attention to that. Joe has the photographic unit for the Army, Air Force. You've got it for the Marine Corps. And Michael, you can take Universal News. Call this.
Then I'll have a sandwich. He's a real taskmaster, this Deere fella.
Ham or tuna.
Yeah, he covered all the bases.
But this was one of probably the fakest frantic scenes I've ever seen of a montage where it's like, it's him at a desk and someone's like running up to him so fast to give him something, and he's giving this speech and everyone's face is just looking at him like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you're just acting this out. We did all this already. We can't find anything. But there's one other thing that William Deere knows about the cameraman.
Oh, one thing that's important. We know that he's a human being. And a human being makes mistakes. People like to brag. People like to talk. So that is part of the profile, too. We take all of that and place that into that unmarked can of food. And now I'm sitting on my desk, this can, with the silver lining. And the only thing that we're lacking now is a picture of our cameraman and his name.
What is he talking about? The can of food, the silver lining. He got very lost, but it stayed in.
That was a weird riddle. I don't know what he's talking.
So many different. You can't mix your metaphors that much, dude.
Doesn't he sound like a Will
I zoned
Ferrell?
out like halfway through. I don't know what he was talking
like
about.
a Will Ferrell character or something. He doesn't seem real. Like he seems when you watch him though, he's over the top. And I'm not lying. He has a regular ring finger and a pinky ring, and he's got a ridiculous suit on, and he looks like, I don't know, like just a weird Southern fried investigator who's got like a bunch of schlubby people working for him. But Deere, he does get a lead on a guy who might know the camera guy. And they do a stakeout on the airport and they record him secretly. But his story is really weak. His story is that he ran into a guy at a bar who mentioned Roswell and then got real quiet about it. That's all he heard.
Anytime a story starts with you ran into somebody at a bar, usually it's not.
You could.
I mean, that's what I do when I go to bars. I just wait for somebody to look like they're interested in aliens, and I'll bring it up, and then I'll get really quiet just to see if they're interested, if they pursue.
And it just sounds like he sat down next to somebody at a bar and started talking about Area 51, and they didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
So he was like, they got really quiet all of a sudden. Like,
Rob,
if
you watch this, Rob, it did look a lot like an episode of Cheaters at this when they did this part, because he's meeting with the guy, but they're filming from like 2 blocks away, and they're through a window.
Geez.
But
yes.
recording it, and you can't really see the guy. He just looks like some old piece of crap. And then the guy says it, he's like, I talked to a guy at a bar, and blah, blah. And and you could just see him like, this is my big moment, and this is all William C. Deere can come up with, is this guy. And that's it for him, really.
And it's nothing. It's nothing, yeah.
I don't know why they felt the need to even include this guy. And we got this great alien autopsy video. We're going to break it down. We can get masters of Hollywood and everyone, experts of things. We're also going to get this really crazy man to go hunt him down, but it's not going to work. But we're going to keep it anyway. We got to pad this thing out.
Yeah, maybe they did.
The whole time they're like, this guy's probably in his 80s. He's probably like, doesn't want anything to do with this anymore. Like, of course, we could just go hunt him down and he'll talk. Like, no, leave him alone at this point.
We got the best thing from him. We got his video. That's, it's not the important part. I don't think.
Everyone's always profit driven, and they want to look. Everybody wants to find the answers, and I get that. But they obviously have an angle where they're like, if we find this guy and we get to do like this other special, that they've got dollar signs in their eyes.
It seemed more.
Yeah, that's always the motivator.
And it gives it a trajectory. It gives the end of the show a trajectory.
Yeah.
I don't know. They seem to get more lost because they end up going back talking just more about just straight Roswell. They close it out with a congressman named Steve Schiff, and he lobbies for Roswell disclosure, but he gets shut down at every turn. And they stay on that for a good while. But before it closes out, though, we get to hear from the champion of Roswell himself, Stanton Friedman, rest in peace, who has this to say about the autopsy.
I see nothing in this picture which leads me to believe we're dealing with aliens as opposed to earthlings with peculiar characteristics.
What?
The wreckage doesn't look like anything I've seen from descriptions of wreckage by witnesses I trust. I can find nothing to link it.
It doesn't seem to me that somebody has put together a gigantic spoof here. If they have, boy, they're wasting their time in engaging in some small ripoff like this. They should be in Hollywood making some fantastic films with Steven Spielberg or something.
Yes, get this man to Hollywood. What's going on?
You're going to Hollywood.
He obviously hasn't seen this documentary because he would know that we've already spoken to Steven Spielberg's guys, and they said they can't even do this shit.
Yeah, well, he definitely can't watch the documentary that he's being a part of.
Well, that's when they get to get him.
For those haters out there who think this is fake, I'll stop you right there.
It's weird that Friedman, of course, he is the champion of Roswell, and he was the champion of Virginia before Rob took him. Well, he took himself out, but he also championed that too. He was all for that, but so far this video, he's just like, no, he probably buys more of the theory about the deformed people.
He hates it.
Yeah, I think he likes
He hates this shit.
It doesn't look like the idea that people is behind, like the cause of all this is totally ridiculous. That you would think that all these people would know what a human being looks like. So yeah, Rob, maybe you're right. Maybe he didn't even watch the original autopsy video. Maybe he just heard of it and just dismisses it.
When they pull the eyes out, like, when have you ever seen it's got these floppy things like that look like contact lenses, like
that's
black
just
contact
what
lenses.
A deformed human
and they
eye
like
looks
pull
like.
it out. Yeah, they pull it out with like tweezers.
Look,
I've never seen a human with that on. Like, maybe we have that. Maybe we all really do have that, and it's just I don't know how eyes work.
They're just keeping it a secret from us that this is what your eyes really look like.
Did not look like anything I've ever seen on a human.
Yeah.
Or
not even Hollywood. Close. Bring it to Hollywood. And this was pre-CGI. CGI shut him down. They're like, now no one cares. They're like, we can just make it up. But we're going to get now. And this is kind of it. They've showed us all the good stuff. They padded it a little bit at the end. And now we're going to get some closing statements from Jonathan Frakes.
Was this a real encounter with another civilization? A bizarre human experiment gone wrong? Or an elaborately staged production? We don't claim to have the answer. But by consulting with film experts, eyewitnesses, pathologists, and some of Hollywood's top movie makers, we've given you an opportunity to hear from all sides. Is this alien autopsy really fact or fiction? Until we know more, you'll have to decide.
Wow, and that's all you had. So put yourself back in that 1995 mindset. What did you think of this documentary?
Oh, man. Well, now I'm thinking this is probably happening on like a Sunday night or a weeknight, and I have to go to bed and have this on my mind. I totally would have believed it at that age. I mean, I believe it now. So yeah, it's super credible.
Yeah, it's 10:30. Do you know where your children are? That's pretty
terrified
much what
in
you
bed.
hear right after this right now.
Yeah, Jonathan Frakes leaves you. They don't leave you with much positivity. Like, look, we showed it all they could, and we tried our best to prove it's real. Now go to sleep.
We don't know. Yeah.
And enjoy
Now
the
go to
season
sleep.
premiere of Herman's Head.
He stuck that landing, though. You got to give it to Jonathan. What is it? Is it Frakes?
Frakes.
Is that how you pronounce it?
It's like rakes, but with an F.
Frakes. Jonathan Frakes, you got to give it to him. He stuck that landing like a pro, man. Like that outro was beautiful.
I'm happy we got him on the
He's real good at
soundboard.
it.
Play soundboard 1. I think that was him.
By the way, I have something else to show you.
He's got such a nice voice.
But to put myself back in that 1995 mindset, I did believe this at the time. I know that's kind of stupid. I was reading UFO magazines. I was really into the topic, but just the way it was presented and trusted names in there. I think Stanton Friedman coming out and thinking it was like a deformed person might have. I've always respected him. Even when I was young, I always thought like he was like the knowledgeable grandpa of UFOs. So I was probably pretty split, but I definitely was in the camp of wanting to believe this.
Wanting to. How do you feel about it now, though?
Well, now with the benefit of hindsight, boy, you just great segue you can do there, Drea. Thanks. We can tell you what happened after this was aired and if its mysteries were ever solved. The following year, Santilli taped an interview with the cameraman, but the man didn't give his name or show his face. He was even sneakier than that other guy. And that other guy never found him. Though it was broadcast on Japanese TV, the segment did little to reestablish the cameraman's credibility or even proof of his existence. Meanwhile, several enthusiasts and experts featured in Fact or Fiction came forward to claim that their statements had been edited to make them sound less skeptical of the film than they were. So Fox was going out of their way to make it sound very, very believable, and they got the ratings to it paid off, I'd say.
Oh, I bet. I mean, if I knew about it, I mean, I grew up in a kind of a big family. I never had control over the remote control. It was never up to me what we were watching. So, but if I were in control, I would have definitely watched this.
Oh, people were definitely talking about this. Ally McBeal and this, they were all talking about.
My dad loved alien stuff, so I'm pretty sure he had it on. And I think I probably watched it with my dad. I have a feeling because he's always loved this alien stuff as well.
Yeah, you probably did watch it. But how did you not remember then?
I feel like I've seen this several times over like the past 10 or 15 years.
Rob's scared of E.T. and the guy who makes E.T. is like, this is gross and scary. Rob ran from this. Rob blocked this out a long time ago.
I can see that happening because we're
Rob,
all.
do you think you think this is E.T.? Was this your E.T. with this video? Because I would have been scared too.
This definitely, I think this had something to do with some of those E.T. nightmares, was watching these sort of these sort of things that were on
is this
Fox.
Real? Yeah, it's. I mean,
that they were putting on Fox
real.
television. Like, what the hell?
I do think this is real, by the way.
It does have a stomach like E.T. You're waiting for its neck to pop up. It's freaky. By 1996, a consensus had developed that the film was probably a hoax. There was an episode of The X-Files called Jose Chung's From Outer Space, which also aired on Fox, and it mocked the autopsy video with his own take on the genre. It was called Dead Alien, Truth or Humbug. And it featured...
Truth or Humbug.
Humbug, great album. It featured doctored footage of an autopsy performed by doctor-turned-FBI agent Dana Scully. So Scully had to perform the Truth or Humbug autopsy.
Yes.
That is notoriously one of the best X-Files episodes as well. That's ranked up there as definitely one of the best ones.
Yeah, see, it's already affecting culture, and it's putting it's already left its stamp. It definitely on ufology for years and years to come. But it wasn't until more than 10 years later that the truth about the original autopsy video, or at least some of it, came out. Now,
oh my God.
Hosted by British TV presenter and journalist, I'm gonna get this name wrong because I think it's the same guy that is not Philip and Holly, Eamon Holmes. Eamon? I don't know.
Eamon? I don't remember because we did hear it, but I don't remember.
I like it, Eamon. Let's go.
British presenter and journalist Eamon Holmes. Eamon investigates the alien autopsy. It somehow managed to outdo Fact or Fiction. The show, which aired on the Sky Network in Britain in 2006, featured much B-roll of a human in a cheap alien Halloween mask wandering city streets, but it also featured Santilli, and he admitted to Holmes, and it's better than saying Eamon, that the film he sold Fox was a fake. He claimed... One he claimed, though, it was based on a real alien autopsy film. He had seen the original film in full once, he claims. But by the time he gathered the money to buy it, it had become too damaged to use.